We are Gathering of the Geeks, a podcast and YouTube show built around the things we as geeks all love. Hashtag we gather on Sundays. Thank you for checking out the one where 2 plus 2 equals 5. I'm one of your hosts, Emmet, and I'm joined by the Ted Lasso to my coach beard, Chris Evans. Chris, how you doing?
Very confused about this math that we have here.
The math is... Yeah, last show I kind of announced the name of the show or why the name of the show was like the last 5 minutes of the show. I think I'm going to keep doing that. If I come up with these titles and there's some kind of reason why, I'm going to wait until the very end of the show to announce it. So,
okay.
I think what was last show? Last show was worth the wait because we were off for 2 weeks, and I said, "Oh, it was worth it. We had a good show."
Why it was called that? Okay,
yeah,
I didn't even realize that.
I thought we had a good show. So
I didn't realize that's why it was called. I thought
yeah.
Thought you're just doing something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, well, I'm always just doing something. So yeah, we'll see if I remember and if I decide that I want to do it. So
you become a dog chasing cars. You don't know what you do.
That's right. And 20 minutes before the show when I make the title and I have to figure it out. So Gathering of the Geeks. We're available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast. Just search for us on those fine places, and you'll find us right there. What's up, Phil? What's up, Ian? What's up, Eric? How's everybody doing on this fine Sunday evening? Hi, Reethy. How you doing? All right, Chris. So I was thinking about something over the weekend. I was thinking about inner monologues and narration. There's that new movie that's coming out with the Skarsgård. What's that one called?
Boy Kills World, I think.
Yeah, Boy Kills World, and his inner monologue, his voice is like the dad from Bob's Burgers or something.
Okay.
And then another famous one lately that we've had is the Batman, where the movie is bookended by an inner monologue. Robert Pattinson's Bruce Wayne, very much pulled from the comic books, I think. So what's your theory? What's your ideas on narration in film or inner monologue in films? One of the most famous ones that I know of is the old Blade Runner from 1982, where the original cut has Harrison Ford doing a narration, and then in the whatever the cut is called, the Ridley Scott cut or whatever, the narration is taken out of the movie.
I've not seen the one with narration.
There you go. So what's your policy on narration in movies, and if you like it like the comic book nature in comic books, like the Batman, where it's not overutilized? I don't think. What do you think?
Well, first, is Aaron talking about Power Rangers? Who are the Rangers?
No, he's talking about the New York Rangers.
Oh, okay.
his hockey team that he likes to cheer for.
Oh, okay. I like narration for the most part. It depends how it's used in a movie, though. I feel like, to me, the best narration is probably Morgan Freeman, and I know we talk about this a lot. Shawshank Redemption,
right?
I think that's the bar in my opinion. But I do appreciate a good narrated thing. Like you brought up the Batman. I love the inner monologue with the Batman. I think that's just fantastic. And it works really well for Batman because in the comics, as you know, there's always a lot of inner monologue. He's a very chatty fellow, just not outward. Just not.
That's the best part. Yeah.
Inside, he's very chatty. On the outside, he's just stoic and rude most of the time, depending what you're reading.
That's right.
He's the goddamn Batman, But in other films, I can't really think of any movies where I didn't really like narration. I technically could say Forrest Gump is narrated.
Sure.
I like that. American Psycho is probably one of my favorites now that I think about it.
Right.
I don't know how that was slipping my mind. Or that opening monologue when he's peeling the thing off his face, the mask, is probably one of my favorite scenes out of anything. It's it's just beautiful. I like monologues and stuff. Oh, Interview with the Vampire. It's narrated by Louis. There you go.
All coming out now.
Yeah, it takes a second. I've had a long day. I had to take 2 Excedrins before we started.
Jeez. So then I was thinking about the voice of the Skarsgård's character in that Boy Kills World or whatever is not the Skarsgård's voice. So then I was thinking to myself, Chris, in a movie of your life, who is your inner monologue voice? What famous person is the the monologue for your life? Who is telling the Chris Evans story to all of us watching this movie?
So there's three choices. One is Adam Sandler because I like to yell horse shit.
That's right.
That's one thing. The other choices would be Hugh Grant just because, and maybe John Hamm. You know what would be best if all three of them could do it and then just cover different parts of my life,
different emotions.
Yes, I think like Inside Out in a way, and they are each of my personality traits. I think that would work, and maybe throw Jimmy Fallon in there for good measure. Or Jason Sudeikis as Ted Lasso. Let's do that instead of Jimmy Fallon.
See, I was thinking the same thing about the Ted Lasso thing, where his accent adds something to it. So I was thinking of like Walter Goggins doing mine, just because I was watching a lot of Fallout lately, and like he's like just having somebody with like a southern country western kind of accent. I think that'd be kind of cool. I'd be walking anywhere, walking to get the mail, and having Walter Goggins' voice inside my head makes me feel automatically more cool as I'm walking toward the mailbox.
I think I like that idea. I wouldn't do it with mine, but I like that idea. I think I'm set with my Inside Out personalities that we're going with.
Yeah, I like your idea too. Like everything's going happy, everything's great, and then all of a sudden, Adam Sandler comes with horse shit.
Yeah,
that's the best.
It's life. Ian says Colin Farrell's Sugar has good narration, works really well. Reminds me of Memento or a crime noir movie. I still haven't got to it, but I will. Ian also agrees. Go New York Rangers. I guess this is also a reference. You must not like the New York Rangers. Is that what's going on here?
I like the Rangers just fine. I just assume that these are the only, people in our chat who are also hockey fans. So
gotcha. Phil says it all depends on the film, but I believe that less is more.
Yeah.
And since Chris just saw it, Fight Club's inner monologue is memorable. It is. It is really good. I Am Jack's inner monologue. I don't know what that is. Yes. No, yeah. I think I already forgot that part. Ian says, I quite like the version of Blade Runner that has narration throughout. Some of it isn't good, but it adds to some scenes. I've only seen it once, and I actually just like the new one better. Chris Evans needs to narrate the story of Chris Evans. There might be something to that. That would be a great switch, because considering he shares a name with me.
Yeah, that's right. Not the other way around.
Yeah, Zeddy says he is the narrator. Who would you guys pick as your narrators? Phil 2 says, "What's up, my geeky bros?"
Hey, Phil.
Ian says, "I'd imagine my inner monologue would sound a bit like Mickey Mouse." No, I kind of picture your inner. Well, I hear your inner monologue because I could hear yours, of course.
That's right.
I picture it kind of like maybe Chris Farley, the late great Chris Farley. Phil says, Phil 2, did y'all see a new Deadpool and Wolverine trailer is coming tomorrow? I apologize in advance for what's going to happen. Probably. Oh, Aaron's going to be my narrator. Okay, that's cool. I like that idea.
That would be weird.
Fallout is incredibly great. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. I think it's pretty awesome. I agree. Go Maple Leafs until October. What's in October?
The new season would start, and then he would start cheering for the Chicago Blackhawks again.
Cookie says Tim Curry as Wadsworth can narrate my life. The one about inner monologues and narrators. Phil 2 can voice Mickey Mouse. It's a fun topic, though.
Yeah, there you go. That was my opening topic, because I asked a friend about this, but I didn't put the implication that it would be who would you want to, not who he actually is. So he answered himself. And then I'm like, I like Walter Goggins. Like, I think of mine that he thought I was like a psychopath, that he actually thought that in my brain I heard Walter Goggins. So he thought there was something wrong with me. So that was
I understand it. Walton Goggins has a cool voice. That southern drawl, and he usually sounds evil even when he's not. To me, he is Boyd from Justified.
Well, that's what I thought about too. I just thought about him from Justified. So
yeah, he's great. Aaron would actually say we'll go with Russell Crowe. Is that a cop out though? Because that's just another Australian guy.
That's what that was my thing with Walton Goggins. I'm like, I want somebody completely different from who I am.
Well, I guess if I pick John Hamm or Ted Lasso, it's not too far off in a way, maybe. But I guess Adam Sandler horseshit is so. It's a balance. Goggins is a genius and a madman in Fallout. He seems pretty cool. He's great in everything though.
It's all about balance.
I wish he was in more stuff, like more big roles, I guess. I think I remember him in a Marvel movie, but I can't remember which one.
Oh, yeah?
I think
I only really know him a lot from Justified, a couple of, or he's in The Hateful Eight.
Aaron says I could say Hemsworth.
A lot of TV.
The same.
A lot of TV for Walton. We'll see about that.
Yeah, he's a TV guy. I like him on TV.
I like him anywhere.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It was Ant-Man and the Wasp. I could not remember what it was.
Oh, geez, he was in that? Crazy.
Yeah.
Of course, I never saw it, so.
I can't remember which one. Was that the second one? I think it was the second one. He's also in Django. Yes, he is. It's great in The Shield. I have not seen The Shield.
Same.
Anyway.
All right, Chris, so what'd you get up to this week? I know you saw a certain movie that I know you're dying to talk about. Did you read anything? Did you watch anything else?
Walton, he is in The Crow's Salvation. That is correct. It's one of his earliest roles, and he is just as good as the movie is. I didn't get up to a lot. I was actually fairly busy this week, and
Same.
So I didn't read anything other than the new issue or the latest issue of Beneath the Trees. Because I think at this point, if I only read one thing a month or a week or whatever, it's probably going to be that.
Yeah,
like I didn't realize I missed issues of Kill Your Darlings.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
on issue 8
6
right
or... Oh, 8. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed so many, so I got to go back and do that. Chris can't wait to talk about his favorite movie, Rebel Moon Scargiver. I didn't see it yet. So I read that. That was really good, but I see what you're saying about the bear. I don't understand it either after reading that.
Yeah.
I thought I had a good handle on it, like how Samantha and the town works versus a wild bear, but now I don't.
I don't get it.
I'm kind of lost actually about it. But it's still really, really good. And I'm very excited to see where it's going because I think it's coming to a close sooner than later with where the story
is. Is it the next one? Or
I think it is the next one. I think it's 6 issues.
I'll look it up to see, but yeah. Yeah, that's right. One more to go.
So that's going to be interesting. I'm very excited. It just doesn't disappoint. Every issue has been solid.
Very good. I would agree with that for sure.
That's all I read. What'd you read?
So I read 3 books this week. Wonder Woman number 8. It's kind of the start of the second arc for the series after number 7 was kind of a break where Superman and Wonder Woman go and try and buy Batman a birthday gift, which was kind of fun. So yeah, number 8's kind of the relaunching of the second arc. It was a very interesting issue where there was it actually felt a lot like WandaVision at certain points, where like the TV show aspect of it, where it's like Wanda was in a, what do you call it, parallel universe or whatever it was, where she was like, she looked like she was in, the Brady Bunch or Leave It to Beaver or whatever.
That sounds fun.
So there's aspects of that with Diana, where she's living with Steve Trevor, and he's like 1950s man and she's 1950s woman, who is, and obviously that don't jive with Diana in any way. So there's this inner monologue of it, and the leader, or the bad guy of the entire story so far, is like reading biblical quotes to her about what women's place is in the world and what's man's place is in the world, And again, how that don't jive with with Wonder Woman and all that kind of stuff. So it was a
Right.
pretty interesting issue where basically Wonder Woman, the actual character of Wonder Woman, is tied up, chained, beaten up, bloody for the entire issue, and being talked down to by the bad guy, the leader of this sovereign or whatever. And then in the alternate kind of thing is she's living this, homemaker life, which is quite interesting. It was a very surprising issue so far. Like I said, we're basically 7 issues into this the story of Tom King's Wonder Woman, and this is probably the most I don't know, striking, surprising, different even of the first couple issues. But it was so well written, so well drawn, drawn by Daniel St. Pierre, who I'm really starting to come around on for. And I think I mentioned this before. It was like in the second or third issue how I didn't feel like the Tom King aspect of writing and the art were matching up in a couple places. But I think now they're maybe getting a little more comfortable with each other and their style and all that kind of stuff. And I just found the art in this one very good with the 2 different storylines or 2 different timelines or whatever that was going on in this issue. But I thought it was great. Again, when I need to go back and read more Wonder Woman now. Like, I don't know if it's just like I'm enjoying this Wonder Woman incredibly. Like, I think it's my favorite DC title right now, and I don't know if it's because it's Tom King and Daniel St. Pierre, or if it's the character of Wonder Woman in comics, which I've never really read before.
Might be Tom King.
Some one-off stuff. Yeah, and that's what I don't know. Like, I want to go back and read the Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang Wonder Woman, which I think was the New 52 version.
Yeah, I believe so,
if I remember correctly. So I want to go back and read that at some point. But yeah, highly recommend Wonder Woman if nobody's reading it. Number 8's not the best jumping on point, but
I don't think it would
still
be.
It's still very good.
It's kind of a heavy book anyway, though.
Yeah, exactly. And this one is the most heavy of all of them, I think.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably best if you do start at the beginning so that you can ease yourself into what's going, because it's a very heavy book, and but that's also just Tom King, the way Tom King writes.
100%.
It's also very wordy. If you don't like wordy comics, it's not going to be for you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like biblical quotes on every other page.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So.
I'll have to catch up though, because I do want to read that. I saw the cover. I was thinking the cover looks neat. Does it have anything to do with what the story is? I guess it does.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, it's kind of her. That's Diana in her, alternate universe or whatever. The type of lasso that the guy has is different than her lasso, and it's kind of mind melting her in a certain way, I guess.
The mind melter.
That's right.
Aaron went to a comic book fair and found the Daredevil film comic adaptation from 2003. I had no idea it existed. I didn't know that either. Greatest discovery of my life. Cranked Evanescence up while reading it. I happen to love that song and Evanescence, so I like where you're going with that one. Phil 2 says New 52 Wonder Woman is the sauce. I've heard good things. I know I read some of it, but I really don't remember it. Zeddy started The Last Ronin. Let me just say it lives up to the hype so far. Zeddy also said, I don't think I've read a Wonder Woman comic, but seeing as I love Woman of Tomorrow, I wonder if I'll love Tom King's Wonder Woman. I would say give it a shot. They're different beasts.
Yeah.
Emmett, you've read more of it than I have. Are there any similarities?
Aside from the Tom King wordiness, no.
Okay. Yeah, that's just his main stamp. I use a lot of words.
Yeah, exactly.
Which isn't bad. I like Tom King. He says, I'm behind on Wonder Woman. World's Finest was my top DC book last week. So good. I will eventually read World's Finest. Those first few issues.
I say that so often.
We do, but just those first few issues were not for me. So I don't know. I'll get to it at some point. I promise. Ian says it's also great to find a Marvel book to look forward to with Avengers Twilight. Another great issue. I'm sure it was.
Yeah, that's my second read of this week is Avengers Twilight number 5, which is the second to last issue as well, I believe. I think it's only a 6-issue series. Just double checking that quickly. Yes, it is. So if you're going to get caught up, Chris, make sure you do that before May 29th. You got a lot of time, actually.
I'll marathon like I did.
Yeah. So anyways, number 5 is quite good. with a lot of Tony Stark and James Stark interaction in this one, which was nice to see, as well as just some more hero stuff, good Luke Cage stuff, which was there's a scene where he's like getting some armor strapped onto him, and some people are like, oh, you're too old, you can't do that. He's like, yeah, I'm bulletproof and I hate fascists. I'm like, all right, this book is awesome. So I thought that was kind of fun. Better understanding of where the story is going to, about who the bad guy is, and all that kind of stuff, and who the new Avengers were. And if you don't really, you haven't been reading it, but having the characters, like Thor and the new Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, and Cap, and everybody, and Iron Man, and all that good stuff feels like more Avenger-y type now. That some of the characters are getting together, and big tease for the final issue as well. If you've seen the cover, every cover is just a telling of what character's next to show up. But so it's kind of cool. But yeah, number 5 is very good. I'm so happy I'm reading this series. I don't read a lot of Marvel stuff, but this one it's very, very good.
Marvel puts out good stuff. Just they put out so much stuff that the really good things get lost in the shuffle sometimes.
Yeah. I don't know how many people are reading this. Like, obviously, some people in our chat are reading it, but I'm not sure how popular it is.
Yeah, I don't know either, because I don't really see people talking about it on my timeline. But to be fair, most of my timeline talks about indie titles.
Yeah, that's true.
Or Batman, because we all love Batman. That makes sense.
We do.
But not a lot of talk about Avengers Twilight. And I've read, I think, the first 3 issues, and I've loved it. I think I talked you into reading it, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
It's really, really good, and the covers are beautiful. The art is really nice. It's cool to hear that they're getting the band back together in these final issues.
Yeah.
So I got to catch up. I don't want to miss the finale.
Yeah, 100% agree. That's pretty much it. I read the second issue of Halloween of Windhorn, which is Tom King's other book that he's got going on. This made so many things more clear, because I think I remember talking about that first issue, saying I don't really know what's happening or why it's happening. The second issue makes everything a lot more clear about what's happening with Helen and her grandfather, and where the story is coming from. And in great Tom King fashion, there's a separate story going on in a separate time that has something to do with this issue and this storyline, and he's bringing it all together like he always does. But he never does an A to B to C story. He's all over the place, and in this issue,
that's why we love it.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I do, anyways. But yeah, he goes more all over the place, but it's actually more clear now. So again, if anybody who likes Women of Tomorrow, this is the book that they should then gravitate towards if they're into that kind of thing, because it's very good.
Cool.
Yeah, that's it. I went to a crappy comic book store this weekend, and it ruined my experience from comic book stores. But
why is that?
It was just like. So I went to you have Barnes and Noble, right, down there. So we have a place called Indigo up here, which is basically the same thing. So I went there, and they had a bunch of comics, and I knew I was going to a comic book store right after going to a chain bookstore. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to give my money to the big chain bookstore. I want to give it to a nice little comic shop. And I went to this nice little comic shop, and they had not a good selection of comic books, which I was kind of upset about. So I'm like, I could have, I was looking for The Last Ronin as well. Zeddy was talking about that. It seems like it's everywhere, and I wanted to make sure I could actually get a copy before it sells out, and I get a 6th copy or whatever. But like the chain bookstore had it everywhere. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna save it, and I just couldn't get anything at this bookstore. They were, again, not to discredit, but they had too much manga. More manga than anything else.
Yeah, that's what Barnes & Noble actually carries the most of too.
Yeah,
around me anyway.
Yeah, so it just got a crummy experience, but I got a couple things, and I saw the Twilight Avengers Twilight comics in physical copy with the Alex Ross covers. They're just, oh man, they're so good.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what the trade's going to look like, if they're going to find a way to use all the covers, make a new cover. I'm curious.
Yeah, the other thing that I saw in the comic shop was that Batman the First Night book, the old timey Batman. And I remember I was talking to you about it, and I said, well, the art was kind of scattered and a little too jumbled for me. And I read it on my iPad in digital format, so it's regular iPad size. But the actual physical book is a bigger DC Black Label, bigger book. So reading the the art in a different format than my iPad made it much more enjoyable seeing it in physical form. Made the art a lot easier and better for me to read. So that was kind of an interesting test that reading stuff on an iPad or digitally is okay for some comics because if it's the regular standard book, but if it's the oversized issue, then the iPad doesn't really benefit or add anything to that.
Well, it's like when I was flipping through Harleen, in physical form it looks much. I mean, it looks great digital too, but I think the physical book does look better. I also want to buy Last Ronin, by the way.
Everyone seems like they should have bought it whenever. What was that, 2 years ago? And then now that it's they're making a movie out of it or whatever, it's like, oh man, I should have bought it back then.
So Phil too read it in single issue form. I'm curious how that experience was reading it month to month, because now, from what I understand, there's like a big spoiler somewhere in there about who the turtle. I don't even know who the turtle is, but there's some kind of giant spoiler about it, and you don't even get that till later on in the book, I guess.
You find it. Well, I read the first issue of it, and the turtle in the story, you don't find out who that turtle is until the very last page.
Oh, okay. So it's in the first book.
Okay. Phil, I'd say that for that single issue of Last Ronin may be worth something, by the way.
It wasn't quite month to month. There was I didn't know that. There were delays in between releases of each. Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to end up with a trade. I'm waiting for the Crow to come back into stock, and then I'm going to buy them both at once.
Oh yeah, right on.
Yes, somehow the hardcover of the Crow is out of stock right now. Go figure. It's that damn Bill Skarsgård.
Is that what you think? That's what it is? Just some people going around to buy because of the trailer, or
yeah, maybe people are curious. Like, oh, that looks like something. What is the original like? Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, it's so I can get the paperback one, but I don't want the paperback. I want the
nice. Sure.
We're all about hardcovers this year.
That's
I don't think Twig is hardcover though.
Did it even come out with the trade? I didn't even notice.
Trade. Oh, it has a wonderful trade, but I don't think it has a hardcover trade.
Son of a bitch! And where is Twig? Where's the sequel?
I know. I started the hashtag and everything. Like, come on, Scotty. Maybe when he's done with Kill Your Darlings.
Yeah, let's hope so.
I am hoping so. I need my Twig sequel.
100%. All right, so that's what I read this week, Chris. What about your watches? What'd you get up to?
I watched some fun stuff. I watched 2 episodes of Fallout, and I really like this show. And one of the things that's really working for me is I have no knowledge of the game. I don't even know what it is. Someone explained. I think Anthony explained it to us last week what it is. And so watching it is a pretty fun experience because it's like all new to me. Like, I don't know who any of these characters are. I don't know their world. I didn't understand that Walton Goggins is a ghoul.
Yes.
I thought he was just I thought he was just a creature kind of person. But he was a person. So that's interesting. I just like it. I think it's great from what I've seen so far. I'm looking forward to finishing it. And the lead actress is great.
I was going to ask you about that. What do you think about the leads? The what's her name? Lily or I can't remember her name.
Is it Lucy?
Yeah, Lucy. That's it. And then the other guy, the
Maximus.
What do you think about those two?
I like Lucy. Maximus, I think I think maybe we're in for a big reveal where he's a horrible person.
Okay.
I feel like he's the one who did the razor blade in the boot.
That was so gross too, by the way. Ugh.
I didn't think it was gross enough. Yeah. I actually thought it could have been more graphic.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just saying. But I like the characters. I think, of course, my favorite is Walton Goggins. By far. Anytime he's on screen, which hasn't been much in these first 2 episodes, is just really special to me.
Yeah, that's probably one of the things that's making me or gonna make me really continue to watch the show. Not that I didn't like the first 2 episodes, but yeah, Walton Goggins as the ghoul, like, and to see like even with where his story goes in the second episode with Lucy, and like you can see where they're gonna go. And like that's more or less what I want to keep watching it for, because like the Maximus stuff really didn't do it for me.
Yeah,
like
he's
the
not my
story
favorite
of
of the
it.
three.
Yeah, but then seeing like Walton Goggins and like the kind of the shanty town or whatever, like the Mad Max kind of town that they show up in, and the different characters, and like even the little the gunfight, that kind of thing. Yeah,
Remind me of Rango.
That makes me happy. I like a Rango reference.
I love Rango.
100%. I love that show. I love that movie. So good.
Eric says the fun thing about the show is that you don't need to play the games to watch the show. Have you played the games, Eric?
No, not at all. When I was in college, I had a roommate who played Fallout 3 constantly, every hour of every day, and instead of going to class. So that's what I know of Fallout, but not much.
Phil 2 says Fallout is a journey for all three leads, Lucy, Max, and the Ghoul, and it is so good.
Fair.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing. I'll probably watch more of it tonight. The episodes are also long. They're over an hour.
Yeah, that's a problem sometimes for me.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it, but like last night I watched the second episode and it went by fast. Like I didn't realize an hour passed. But the first one I felt it. I think because of all the introductions and the origin kind of stuff. Sure. Still good, but you can just kind of feel, okay, this is running a bit long. But I think the first episode is longer anyway. So I watched 2 episodes of Fallout. I will maybe finish it this week. We'll see how that goes. I'm not good at finishing shows. I may just never watch it again.
Truer statement has never been made.
Yes, we'll see how it goes. I watched that. I watched X-Men 97. There's no sense in me trying. I love it, so we're good with that. It's amazing. And I watched 2 movies I've been waiting for. The first was Immaculate with Sydney Sweeney. I was pretty excited for this movie beforehand just because it looked cool. The trailer really sold me. And I also think it's kind of hilarious how Sydney Sweeney is everywhere right now.
Yeah.
She has made a movie in 3 different genres in a span of 3 months, or released a movie. So that's pretty entertaining. This, I would say, is the best one of the 3. Not that Madam Web was not entertaining.
Yeah, because you didn't like the rom-com one she was in either, right?
I thought it was okay.
That much. Okay.
It was okay. I would rather watch it over Madam Web, at least.
Really? Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, Madam Web is what it is. But this was fun, I thought. So, you have the first Omen, and then you have Immaculate. And they're kind of the same, but then they're not. And I don't know if what makes them different is a spoiler, so I won't get into it. But I like the way they do things in there. And the ending is, I want to compare it to Pearl's ending in a way. Because it's really intense, but it's because of the performance. Like Sydney Sweeney sells the crap out of it. And it's a little shocking too. Like Cookie says, Immaculate was disgusting. Loved it. I agree. It is disgusting. I love it. Though, the first Omen is actually kind of wackier and more gory. Whereas Immaculate is more, I want to say it's darker and more serious, which is kind of odd to say. Because, I mean, the topic of both is the Antichrist. One is wacky, one is serious. Take your pick.
I was going to ask you about the violence in Immaculate, because you remember when you were talking about the first Omen, how severe the violence and gore, body horror was in that.
I wish we could talk about the thing I want to talk about with First Omen.
So then in the Immaculate, or in Immaculate, it's a body horror gore fest as well, or it's more of jump scary types.
Well, I think it's more like maybe jump scares, but it just kind of gets in your head a little bit more. It's more straightforward.
Psychological.
Yeah, it's more straightforward. But it does have plenty of ugly things to look at. But not as much as, I mean, I can't get a certain thing out of my head with the other one, and like I said, I can't talk about it. So
I can't talk about it.
So I won't talk about it, I should say. But I like them both. I think they're on par with each other. I really can't pick a favorite. It's kind of just what are you in the mood for? Wacky demonic fun or serious demonic fun? They're maybe not even fun, but
I was thinking about just now, like last year, you and I had a good year for watching horror movies. What do you think about 2024 so far?
We are on track.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are definitely on track with these two movies, and then the next one I want to mention. We're on track. Ian says Immaculate didn't do it for me. I felt the first 2/3 dragged. It wasn't scary. The idea wasn't very original. It had its moments, and Sweeney was good, but the rest was mediocre. Well, sir, that is your opinion.
2 + 2 = 5.
It does. No, I respect that though. I think that see, I kind of thought First Omen was a little bit slower, whereas Immaculate I thought was perfectly paced. Also, it's shorter. I would say Immaculate's like 90 minutes.
That helps.
So it's a pretty breezy Antichrist movie.
And aren't those the best kinds?
'Tis the season for demonic bursts. And then the other thing I watched this week was Abigail, which Abigail, something I've really been tracking ever since the concept was announced. And the concept is a whole other spoiler, so if you don't know, don't look it up. Because it's changed since then, but still. Abigail is a wonderful time at the movies. I really think it's the best vampire film we've had in years. It's got a little bit of everything. It's got gore. The Abigail is awesome. That actress Alicia Weir is fantastic. The rest of the cast is really fun too. You got Melissa Barrera, of course, Catherine Newton, who I think is becoming like a Mia Goth level horror icon for me. So you got her. Dan Stevens is kind of unrecognizable. Like I didn't realize it was Dan Stevens at first because he looks kind of different and slimy, which he doesn't usually.
Slimy.
That's the word I would use. Slimy.
Because he's a slime ball.
Well, have you ever seen the movie War Dogs?
No.
Okay. He looks like Bradley Cooper in that movie. His hair is slicked back. He's got these big stupid glasses on.
Yes, I see Stevens' glasses here. Yes.
Yeah, it doesn't look like him. It looks like he's a character of some sort.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, Abigail is a total blast. It's got humor, some scares, like people in the theater were jumping. It was interesting. I didn't expect that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the humor aspect to it, because the trailer made it seem, I don't know, like the humor came from the shocked factor of these people towards Abigail, and like what, like kind of the facial features they were making just makes you kind of laugh. They're shock and awe type of deal. But like, are we talking jokes? Are we talking happenstance humor?
Yeah, some of that too. It's a mix. There's also a character who's kind of funny throughout. But then it's really well balanced because you have some really creepy stuff in there. So it's a good time.
Yeah, that's quite the resume for the two directors, of late.
Radio Silence. Like the Ready or Not, that's probably their best movie, I think.
Like in the last, since 2019, Ready or Not, Scream, the other Scream 6, and then Abigail, all in a row. That's pretty good stuff.
As the kids would say, 4 bangers.
That's right. Or as Phil number 2 would say, they got the sauce.
It's saucy.
Right? Is that how you use it?
I don't know if we're doing that right.
I have no idea.
I like to do that saucy though. But yeah, Abigail's cool. It's part Lost Boys, part From Dusk Till Dawn.
One of those things make me happy.
Okay, I think we got it right. Damn straight. Okay. We got it. But that's all I watched, those two, and I really enjoyed both of them. Abigail, of course, will take the top spot for me, though. I'll probably still be talking about that throughout the year.
Yeah, I'm so excited to watch it. I was hoping to see Abigail this week because I was hoping to have seen Civil War last week, but I got busy and didn't see Civil War, so now I'm hoping to see Civil War this week, and hopefully Abigail's still playing around here when I do, because I can't remember why I watched Ready or Not to begin with.
I
don't know if it was, because I just don't remember if it was recommended by you or I can't recall, but it was a movie that I was very surprised by going into it because I think I watched it without knowing anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't really know about Abigail, but I think I kind of get the premise of it, unless there's lots of switches and confusion in it.
No,
but
you'll figure it out in like the first 15 minutes.
So yeah, it's pretty simple, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But that like the idea of the movie, like Ready or Not, has its obviously its high points and all that kind of stuff. But taking that idea of those directors who did that, but then adding in different kind of horror elements like vampires, like just something about that made it more interesting to me, and it got me more excited for it. So I really want to see this movie. And I like it was when you saw it, I fully expected you to have a good time. And when I'm watching it, this is one of those movies where I go in fully expecting to like it. Like even if I go see it in, like even if I see it in a theater where I won't have a good time in the theater, this movie feels like it's something of a good time. Like, and I think you mentioned fun a couple of times when talking about the movie. Like that's what this movie feels like. Yeah.
Just like feels the crowd was eating it up.
Mm-hmm.
That was except for the three in front of me, but I don't think they wanted to be there. They were playing Candy Crush on their phones.
Oh, fuckers.
Yeah, like, please just turn that off.
Yeah, turn that shit off. Then I started looking at
the Candy Crush on this.
Yeah. No, you did the wrong move.
Right, yeah. Abigail's on screen, never mind that.
That's funny. I didn't watch any movies this week. It was a stupid busy week. I watched the penultimate episode of Shogun, though, which was very good, and it got me thinking about a decision made by the storytellers, by the creators, that makes you angry but makes sense. So there's a character in the show, in this episode, who, I don't know, you're not going to see it, right? I don't know. Damn it, I can't talk
about it. If I do, I'll probably forget about it.
Something happens to a character, and then you feel like they're going to go one way, and you're like, oh, okay, I like where this is going. Like where the divide could have happened, where they could have went this way or could have went that way. At the point of junction where they could have gone, you're nervous for them. You're very interested in the story. And if one thing happens or another thing happens, you would be fine for it at that point. So they go this way. And then by the end of the episode, the way they were going, it didn't matter. It didn't matter that they went that way. They could have went. I know this is very hard to explain. But
I'm actually replaying the scene from the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring when Gandalf stays behind, you shall not pass.
That's right.
I don't know where that's where my head is going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. A character's choice from going this way or another way, it doesn't matter, because at the end of the episode, something happens to the character where it frustrated me beyond belief. Even though it may have made sense in the story, I just didn't want that to happen to the character.
Okay.
So I was thinking about another show where you're thinking to yourself, like, where this.
I watched it, but I have no idea what I was talking about.
Ian, I'm talking about Mariko and her decision to. Anyway, so have you watched the show, Chris, where the story is going a certain place where it makes sense to you, or a character is doing something that makes sense to you, but it still frustrates you that they're doing that, or that the story is doing that?
Yeah, I kind of felt that way about Entourage, actually. Because I really like I would say portions of Entourage. It was my favorite show for a while, and then it just kind of dropped off for me. Like, I don't even care about it anymore.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is because there was frustrating decisions with the characters to prolong whatever storyline they were trying to do.
Sure.
And in doing so, I think they ruined some of the character stuff. And I feel like that sometimes that's just very frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just felt like by the end of the latest episode of Shogun, I just wanted a character to not.
Oh, now he's on board.
That's another thing. Yeah, there's not like, well, I guess they could change it if they wanted to, but yeah, I just felt like the character, deserved more or deserved something else to happen that did happen, and based off what they chose to do and what the story decided that they do by the middle of the episode, they could have went a couple of different ways. And I don't know, it's an interesting idea of saying, oh, that feels good, that, oh no, that doesn't feel good. And it's just the weird kind of roller coaster of the way this episode specifically, and even you going back to where in like past episodes where one character is just making the weirdest decisions, and you think you know why they're making those decisions, but then you're not sure. And then like a lot of mystery to the show and trickery to the show, but like bad things are happening to people because of weird decisions that a certain character is making. And it's just it's very interesting to be angry at different story beats and characters for decisions that they make in the show, but you're not like, oh, this is stupid. Like I'm thinking about like Game of Thrones. Yeah, but it's not like, oh, Bran. Like who gives a shit? Bran? Why Bran? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
There has to be someone who likes that decision, but anyway.
But in saying that, it's not like that. I'm not saying, oh, that's just stupid, and the show is now, people think like the show is ruined because Bran is the king, or yeah. So, that's the difference. It's not. I'm not angry at the show. I don't dislike the show now, but it's just interesting that I'm angry and still frustrated at a certain thing. And like Ian saying, how certain things are happening is different. Yeah, that also
different
helps.
than in the book where it happened because that person saved Anjin.
Anjin, yeah, just a white guy.
Oh, okay, that's the white guy. Okay, that's the Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Gotcha. That's right. Yeah, so we obviously have the season finale for Shogun tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
I didn't watch X-Men 97 this week. I'll get to that. Yeah. I didn't watch Young Sheldon either this week, I don't think.
I didn't
either. So one of the problems that I'm having is all of a sudden wrestling is now Monday nights. So that's what I'm watching on Monday nights. Friday nights, and now I'm watching SmackDown. Like I'm literally watching wrestling all the way through now. I'm not just watching like the live events or the premiere events. I'm actually watching the shows. So it's like, oh, like sometimes they'll switch back and forth, but wrestling's taking it too much of my life. And like the Stanley Cup playoffs are on, so I'm watching hockey more now, and baseball's on now. It's just too many sports going on.
It's that time of the year.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tough time of the year because I'm also trying to get to movie theaters, but then I want to watch some things at home. So I think I can watch Immaculate at home now.
Yes, Immaculate's at home.
I can watch. There's something else that I wanted to watch at home, a newer one too that I can't remember what it was.
Late Night with the Devil?
Yeah, I wanted to get to that one too for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to subscribe.
That's on Shudder now, I think, actually.
It is. So like I'm going to AMC Plus this week to watch that and do my rewatch of Interview.
That's the other thing. Interview is going to start in 2 weeks, so there's another night of the week on. So
yeah, I'm hoping they do the week thing, the week ahead.
Yeah, I haven't asked you about that. So the AMC thing. So I think they're going to do the AMC app. You get it the week before it airs.
I think I've read that it's just going to hit at midnight. So I guess like the morning of Sunday for AMC Plus people. I think that's the way it works.
I wonder how that worked for them last time, airing the episode a week early on the app.
I enjoyed it. It's cool with me.
Sure.
It's cool with me. But
no doubt.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to Late Night with the Devil also this week. Our friend Phil Walsh loved it also.
Nice. Perfect. That's the other thing I wanted to watch too. I'm hoping to get to that this week. I was gonna watch it last week, but I didn't have time. But that's something I really want to get to again.
I'm curious what you think about that one on a rewatch.
That's my whole point of watching it. I want to be persuaded. I want to have my mind changed about it. It's a what?
It is the only movie. So.
Yeah, it's the only movie that ever existed in all of life.
Nothing else matters.
Yeah, so I really want to watch that again. I think I'll actually buy it as well on Apple or whatever. I think I bought the first one because I think I tried to stream the first one off of a certain site, and the quality was not very good, and I didn't want to have to look at stupid Timothy Chalamet and pixelated weirdness or bad
Wouldn't that make it
CGI.
easier for you?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean,
yes. So I just want to make sure I get like the 4K, the best possible version that they have.
The clearest Timmy
that can possibly exist. So that this week, hopefully, if not, I'll get to it because it's something I really want to get to. I want to have my mind changed. I want to not be the asshole who doesn't overly enjoy Dune 2.
It's okay if you are.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. It just sometimes feel left out.
Yeah, I want to be part of the cool kids too. I get it.
Yeah. That's my whole life is trying to be part of the cool kids.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
Yeah, not much else for me this week. Chris, what else? Anything else you want to talk about, or anything you're looking forward to this week?
I kind of had a quiet week because I was just pretty busy, and the other things that I really wanted to get to, I got to, which were the 2 horror movies. I do want to get to that Guy Ritchie, Henry Cavill movie.
Oh yeah,
Gentlemanly Warfare. Yeah, I was thinking of going tonight after the show, but I think I'll just save it for tomorrow night, or I may see Abigail again. We'll see how it goes. But I want to get to that this week. Of course, another episode of X-Men 97. I've heard this one is a real special one. And as Ian is also mentioning, that Deadpool Wolverine trailer tomorrow. Did you see the poster?
The one where Deadpool's kind of holding the claw or whatever. Claw.
Yeah, that looks pretty cool too. I am excited. The reveal has to be tomorrow, and if I just want to see him with the head gear on. That's all I want.
Yep.
I may not even watch the trailer if I get just the image of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. What else do they have to show us? Like, I wonder if this is like I guess the first trailer was kind of like a story trailer. We kind of figure out what's kind of going on with the TVA or whatever. But you think we're going to get more of a story trailer to it?
I think it's going to be a Wolverine focused trailer.
Oh, right. You thought that before, didn't you?
Yes.
Did you mention that? Right.
Yeah, because the director did say there's a reason this is not Deadpool 3.
Right.
It's Deadpool and Wolverine because they have their separate stories, basically. So it might be a Wolverine focused trailer.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm with Aaron. First show is Deadpool, second trailer Wolvie. So that's going to be a good time tomorrow.
Cool.
That's all.
A couple comic books I'm looking forward to this week. We've got The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Lives #1 this week. I'm interested in that. And then Spectrograph #1 from Distillery. It's the James Tynion Distillery book that's coming out this week about Ghosts and Ghouls. This is with art by Christian Ward as well. We like Christian Ward, so I'm looking forward to that. And hopefully going to see Civil War this week. And we'll just watch some more stuff at home, get caught up on X-Men 97, and watch some horror stuff. I think I'm going to get to.
Are you going to read Dick Tracy this week?
Yeah, that's the other thing. Dick Tracy from Mad Cave Studios.
I'm pretty funny for that.
Yeah, you and I were talking about this a while ago, and like the only thing I know of Dick Tracy is the movie with Warren Beatty and Al Pacino and the kid from Jurassic Park, or not the kid from Jurassic Park, and another kid from something else.
The kid from What About Bob? He was.
What About Bob?
He was in Can't Hardly Wait as kind of an adult.
Sure. Yeah. This kid is always a kid. It's like I just feel like he's never aged.
Well, yeah, he's just that kid who eats the chicken with Dick Tracy.
Yeah. So, I don't know much about Dick Tracy. Just like the weird villains and cool aesthetic, and Dick Tracy's got the watch with the FaceTiming on it. Like, that's cool enough for me. So I'm definitely going to check out the book, see what it's like.
I'm excited for that. I think that's probably the book I'm most looking forward to this week.
Nice.
Yeah, it should be fun. That's it for me too.
Okay, guys, let's wrap her up. We got a short show this week, no problem there. Chris, where can people find you? All those things.
You guys can follow me on the Twitter at thatchris70. You can also follow the show at G of the Geeks. And I also do another show with my buddies Phil Walsh and Andy Caruso over at DC Unlimited Pod. Emmet is better with the rest of the plugs, so he will take over from here.
You can follow me on Twitter if you so choose to at Emmet Davis 7. Gathering of the Geeks is available on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Just search for Gathering of the Geeks and you'll find us right there. Thanks, Zeddy, Eric, Ian, Phil #1, Phil #2, Aaron, Cookie. Who was the other one early on? Ruthie. Ruthie, thanks so much for watching on this fine Sunday evening, guys. Have a great week. Enjoy whatever you enjoy, and don't care what the answer is. Just 2 + 2 = 5. As long as you enjoy it, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So for Chris and I'm Emmet, and we gather on Sundays.
Have a good week, guys.